Alright, man, let's get right into it. Stop relying on middlemen to experience the metaphysical forces of God. Let me say that again. Stop relying on middlemen to help you experience the metaphysical nature of God, the metaphysical forces of God. You might be wondering, what the hell do you mean by that? What the hell are these middlemen? What are they telling me? All this and that. Relax. Just take a step back, breathe, because I'm about to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. Now, regardless of your faith, regardless if you're religious, regardless of your spiritual denomination, your whatever beliefs, you got to stop relying on other people's experiences with the divine to essentially understand what the divine is. Stop letting other people's experiences with the divine map out your vision of what the metaphysical forces of nature, the metaphysical forces of God are. Because if you really break things down, when it comes to religion, when it comes to philosophies, when it comes to other different types of beliefs, at the end of the day, they are experiences that someone had of the divine, of the metaphysical, of God, of the universe. And they're putting it down on pen and paper, or they're putting it down on some type of way that you can communicate to people. But at the end of the day, that's their version of it. That's their perspective of it. I talk about it so much, how your perspective paints your picture of reality. If I look at a painting, or if I look at just a piece of artwork, and we're standing side by side, we're looking at the same thing, I'm gonna view it differently, and you're gonna view it differently. Does that mean that thing is quote unquote different? No, it's the same thing, but our perspective paints that picture within our internal world that expresses out into the external world. This is the same thing that's going on with the whole concept of God, with the whole concept of religion, with the whole concept of theology, spirituality, all that stuff, man. Too many times, people are relying on others to give them the answers on what this all is. Oh, this guy's smarter than me. Oh, this guy was way older than me. Oh, this guy was doing this, this, and that. So he must be right. He's right in his own way, in his own lane, in his own category. That applies to his life. That applies to all the experiences that he had before then. So you cannot pursue this path of spirituality, of actually becoming the best version of yourself, not only mentally, not only physically, but also spiritually, and embody the best version of your mind, body, and soul. You can't do that if you're always letting other people dictate what the divine means for you. Let me say that again. You can't do that if you're always letting other people dictate what the divine means for you. This is why, in my opinion, in my humble thoughts, the mystic path is the ultimate path. Now you might be wondering, what is the mystic path? Well, every one of your favorite spiritual leaders, prophets, religious formators, philosophers, all these things were mystics. They weren't thinking about, oh man, all these rules and regulations that come with a religion, or they come with a school of thought, or come with a philosophy. They were seeking a direct experience with God, with the self, with the universe, with the supreme source. They were looking for a direct experience with it. They could not care less about the rules that goes with it, the different ideologies that go with it. They use all these things as tools to access that inner gnosis. Shout out to the School of Gnosis for all you Patreon members out there that know about that. The school of divine knowledge, the divine wisdom that can be only found, of course, within. So all these masters, ascended masters, people who are self-realized, use tools that apply to their path of life that help them accelerate that progress down the line. This is what a mystic is. They're looking for that direct experience, that direct relationship with God, with the God within, with the universe that resides within every single atom and cell around us. That's what they were looking for. And this is, to me, why it's the most ultimate path. This is why I consider myself a person who's a mystic, who's on the mystic path. And that doesn't mean, oh man, I'm doing like magic wizard shit. Like the word mystic, don't get it messed up. Don't get it twisted. Mystic means you're looking for that thing, that experience with God that cannot be explained through words. That's why it's mystical. It can't be explained in a logical way. These types of things, these experiences with God, these experiences with the divine and all that stuff are beyond the limitations of the mind and beyond the limitations of language and beyond the limitations of what our consciousness can compound in a way that we can communicate with others. That's why, again, you can't rely on middlemen to do that for you. You can't rely on this book or that book or this book or this podcast or this YouTube channel or this religious leader, this spiritual leader to give you what it really means to actually be connected to God, to actually be walking the path of being a divine vessel for God. Because again, they have their own experiences, they have their own perspectives, they have formulated their own philosophy, but also they cannot compound all that stuff that they experience through these divine revelations into words that will actually encapsulate everything that it embodied. You're just getting a 5% of what they were trying to explain to you. I don't care who it is, what religion is, what faith it is, what philosophy it is. You're not getting the full enchilada. You're not getting the full scope of everything because it can't be put into words. You cannot have a language that can put all that stuff into words. It does not exist because these types of things exist beyond the planes of just the mental and physical. It's the spiritual realm. It's the divine realm. It's the celestial realm. It's whatever you want to call it, the ethereal realm. These types of things can only be felt from within. That can only be accessed if you're a true aspirant of this path. Understanding that there's something far beyond just the mental and physical. There's something far beyond just this material world. Far beyond the Maya, the illusion, the matrix. You see that. You've experienced that. Maybe it's through a spiritual awakening. Now you want to seek more and more and actually piece the puzzle up together what that means for you. So as you go on through this path and as you pick up on these types of things and you're reading books, you're reading holy scriptures, you're reading different types of philosophies that still encapsulate that same idea, you just got to keep it in your mind that these are all different paths or different routes that go up to the same mountaintop, that go up to the same peak, the pinnacle, the same end goal. And if you don't realize that, you're going to always be in a state of dogmatic thinking that this is the only path, that this is the only way, that this is if I don't do this, I will not get to that point. That is false. Get that out of your mind. And this is the type of thing where a lot of people who grew up in religions can't seem to handle, can't seem to wrap their mind around, because they think that they've been brought up, they've been programmed to think that this is the only way. Well, go back and read your book, go back and read your scriptures and stuff like that. Other people found different small intricate paths that still lined up with that same philosophy that got them to that same end goal. Your philosophy, your formula and all that stuff was not established until years down the line. Yet still people were becoming self-realized. Still people were accessing God. Still people were realizing the divine nature all around them and within them. So how is that possible that this is the only way? Well, it might have been more optimized nowadays. It's more like, okay, you do this, and do that. That might be more optimized for the people that just want to just get the answers right there, then and there. But for a true seeker, for a true person who's on the path of really accessing all the pillars of life, again, not just the mental, not just the physical, but also the spiritual, you got to realize that these types of things, this type of thinking is just going to be deterrent to your path in general. And you got to shed off this extra weight, this dead weight, these layers that aren't going to serve you on the path, on the main goal, on the main purpose. Because when you really start to break things down and you really start to kind of actualize the type of message I'm trying to relate to you guys right here, it's going to click. It's going to click at one point and you're going to be like, damn, all these lessons, all these takeaways, all these overall messages, these doctrines are just tools for me to help me accelerate my progress, for me to be able to paint my own picture. Then it's going to be like, oh, okay, I don't got to attach my identity to each one of these things. I don't have to attach my personality to this. I don't have to attach my livelihood to this, that this is the only way, that I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this. You're going to break beyond that. And you're going to realize that all these quote unquote prophets, religious leaders, spiritual leaders, this and that, I'm not trying to bash on any of them, okay? Don't get it twisted. They're just middlemen for you. If you want to get straight to the source, you want to get straight to the product, straight to the plug, you got to go straight within and access the type of knowledge, that gnosis that I talk about all the time, that's within. And it's a different process for you to activate it than it is for me. All these are just different tools to help you do that. This is why all this stuff I talk about on my Patreon, shout out to the fucking Patreon. If you want access to exclusive videos, topics about this type of information, full guides on the tools to help you get to that point, whether it's mentally get better, physically get better, spiritually get better, as well as in-depth occult lectures talking about very deep and dense topics that really marinate in your mind and really allow you to access different aspects of reality, as well as monthly masterminds where we get into calls with me, get into the private group chat with me, and we just discuss about these things with a community of like-minded men who are also on this path. Go check out the link posted in the pinned comment of this video. Over there you'll also be able to find links to one-on-one consultations if you want to book that, or apply for personalized one-on-one coaching with me. Everything is going to be posted in the pinned comment of this video. You got the newsletter, you got the free community Discord, you got all that good stuff. So check that out, man. But essentially all the things that I talk about on the Patreon, that I talk about on this channel, that I talk about on the main channel, that I talk about with the people I do the one-on-one consultations or the personalized coaching, are just giving tools to help you get to that point, to be able to unlock certain doors within your own psyche, within your own physiological being, this vessel, to help you access that gnosis, to access your own version of what it means to be connected to the divine, and write your own philosophy, write your own quote unquote religion. I don't want to be blasphemous, but yes, write your own religion, write your own rules and regulations on how to navigate this game of life, because that gnosis is going to be giving you a direct communication to God, to the divine, to the universe, to the supreme source. And that's going to give you the information that you need. It's going to give you the information that you specifically need for your unique journey in life, for you to be able to pursue your purpose, to be able to accomplish your purpose, and become a divine vessel for God. This is something I talked about on the Patreon, becoming a divine vessel for God, not living this life merely just for me, but essentially elevating your mind, body, and soul to the point where God, the universe, the supreme source, again, whatever you want to call it, can use you as an instrument to work out the universal will, to help elevate the consciousness of humanity in whatever way that is. Maybe it's a YouTube channel, maybe that's your career path, maybe that's becoming a doctor, maybe that's becoming whatever it is. We're all brought here for that reason. Yet there's so many distractions in this world and so many different pulls and temptations that throw us off this path, that throw us off this journey of becoming the best version of ourselves and becoming self-realized. Because to be able to become self-realized, you need to be self-mastered, mastering the mind, mastering the body, mastering the soul. This is what this channel and this is what my message, my brand is all about. It's beyond self-improvement. It's about self-mastery, mastering your vessel, mastering your mind, so your soul can be able to access these as tools to be able to work out that vision or that divine guidance or that divine duty, your dharma, that you have been implanted with, that you have innately put into your system, given gifts by God, giving certain skills by God. Even when you were a kid, you had these types of skills to help you work that out. But slowly it's beaten out of you, you forget about that, and you fall into the programming of society. And if we want to take another step, you kind of can fall into the programming of society within that spiritual realm, that Again, this is the only way. This is the dogma. This is the only philosophy that you should follow. Don't let that cloud your vision. Maybe this philosophy gives you a specific tool to help you on the path and accelerate. Maybe this philosophy, you can take a little piece of that. That philosophy, you can take a little piece of that. Maybe this one, you don't take a little piece of that. It's fine. It does not matter. Take little pieces from everything and plug it into your own system. And guess what? You're going to pave out your own path. You're going to pave out your own, essentially, roadmap to God, roadmap to the pinnacle, roadmap to the peak. And that's going to give you a better understanding of what it means to be yoking yourself to God or yoking yourself to the universe and becoming a divine vessel. And actually realizing the underlying nature of reality, understanding the underlying nature of the metaphysical forces of nature that we call God. You want that. I know you do, because you wouldn't be watching this video, you wouldn't be tapped into this channel, you wouldn't be just on this type of path. You want a direct connection, a direct experience with the divine. We're not here to just be like, okay, if I follow these rules, I'll go to heaven. That's what majority of people are doing, because they are stuck in their lower stages of consciousness. Even if they go to church, even if they go to the mosques, even if they go to the temples, even if they're praying X amount of times a day, even if they're fasting, even if they're doing this and that, they are still putting and essentially pedestalizing worldly pursuits and worldly pleasures over their divine purpose, over the divine connection. Because they'll just do these types of things for themselves. Okay, if I do this, I'll go to heaven. If I do charity, I'll go to heaven. If I do that, then I'll be good. I'll be straight. Because this book told me, my teacher told me this and that. And I'm not saying this is evil, this is bad or anything, but it's still not tapping into your true essence. That's why religion and mysticism are two different things. And in my opinion, like I said before, mysticism is the ultimate path. You can still be quote unquote religious, follow a certain religion, but follow the mystic path, the more esoteric path. Every religion has that. And every one of these, the main spiritual leaders, the main movers of that school of thought was a mystic. They were seeking a direct relationship and direct connection with God. And guess what? They took that information and brought it to people, and some people took that information and made it the main law. A lot of people, a lot of those spiritual leaders, a lot of these ascended masters, they weren't having that direct relationship with God in order to be a dictator, be like, this is this and that. People, societies, governments took that and just ran with it, because they understood that people on a deep level, every single body, I don't care if you think you're a bot, you're an NPC, you're not religious, you are religious, you're not spiritual, you are spiritual, I don't care if you, whatever it's in your mind. Each and every single one of us has a soul yearning to be able to connect back with the source, because it emanates from that source. It's like a dog that's lost. It's yearning to go back home. And a dog, if you have a dog, if it's ever been lost before, if it's still around the area, it knows by its smell how to get back home. Your soul knows how to get back home still. Yet you're not giving it a chance. You're not giving the opportunity. One is because you've been psychologically programmed to not think you have a soul, not be connected to it, not understand that there's something more beyond this life than just the mental and physical and the material world. Like we all just see people trying to improve their lives mentally and physically and materialistically, yet they're missing that core element of the spiritual that doesn't allow them to get to this stage of self-mastery, becoming the master of the mind, body, to be able to let the soul become self-realized and return back to the source. A lot of people are missing that. One, and two, what we're talking about right now, they're not viewing this path, this journey, as a way that they have control over. They have the ability to actually map out their own vision, map out their own journey, and map out their own process to get to that point. They think that if I do X, Y, and Z that the other person did, I'll get there. Well, if God wanted you to do that, He would just make everybody the same person, right? The same psyche, the same biology, because like I said before, each one of our psyches, each one of our perceptions will be able to formulate a different perspective or formulate a specific perspective that correlates with our own internal world. Yet we all have different psyches, we all have different bodies, we all have different minds, we all have different levels to this game of life. So God is basically implying, or the universe is basically implying, there is one goal or there's one mountaintop, but you got to find your own path to get there. If we're hiking and there's one map, one way that's always paved out, yet it doesn't lead up to that, it doesn't give you that sense of really being on this journey, on this trek, then don't follow it completely to the T, even though it's paved out for you, even though it's super clean and stuff like that. You still yearn for going off the road, going off the map, mapping out your own way, going on your own experiences. Okay, we stop at this waterfall. Okay, we stop at this viewpoint. And then I get to the pinnacle and I see everybody else here. You got to be able to really view these types of things in that form, in that way. Not letting other people, or other thoughts, or other philosophies become the middleman for you. Because if you go to the middleman, you're always getting, again, less. If you're going to the middleman when it comes to wholesale, you're always going to get taxed. You're going to get less from what it is at the source. The source is giving you a better price, better quality, this and that, directly from the source. But if you go to the middleman, you're getting taxed. They're cutting things up. The things aren't as pure as it could be if you went right to the source. Going right to the source is more difficult, it takes more time, it takes more energy, it takes more effort. But if you're truly a seeker of this path, you will do it. Because when you go to the middleman, and I'm not saying that people are doing this purposely, they're not giving you the right information and stuff like that. Like I said, the type of language, the type of information can't be put into specific languages, can't be put into a specific way of words. Like, it's beyond that. It stretches beyond what you can comprehend. You need to directly experience it, because it's not something that you experience with the mind or the body. Those are just the tools to be able to get you to that point, but it's something felt from within, from the soul, from the spirit. That's the only way you're going to get direct connection to the source, to that point. And again, like I said before, all these videos, all these books, all these things, stuff I talk about on Patreon that I help with the coaching clients or one-on-one consultations, they're just giving you the tools. I'm just being direct with you. A lot of people will not let you know this type of stuff. That, okay, these are just tools. They think that, okay, you got to follow this, you got to follow that, you got to follow that. Then you go to heaven. Then you'll experience God. No, bro, you have your own set, your own toolbox, and you're crafting your own building. You're crafting your own masterpiece. You're being an architecture and an alchemist of your own spiritual evolution. Let me say that again, because that sounds fucking nice. You are your own architecture and alchemist of your spiritual evolution. Don't put it in the hands of other people. Don't put it in the hands of somebody else. Let them become a middleman for you. Use the type of gifts that God has given each and every single one of us to go and meet with him, or meet with it. Because I don't like putting him or pronouns and stuff with something as expansive as God. Go and meet it face to face. Go and meet it face to face. There's a verse in the Bible, Genesis 32, I think 20 or 32, 30, something like that. It's Jacob who's talking about how he went face to face with God. Jacob's ladder, that's what's it called? Analogous to your spine. Raising up that level of consciousness, cosmic energy, sexual energy, raising up the spine, Jacob's ladder. And he said he went face to face with God, and he called the place pineal. Pineal. What's within, that's what they call it, the seat of the soul. And that is, you can call it metaphorical, you can call it allegorical, but what it's trying to encapsulate is that the God, the source, your connection to it is within you. Why are you giving that authority to somebody else? You have it within you. It's like saying, hey man, can I go work out at your gym? When you have a whole setup in your own garage that can get you jacked the same way. You're paying attention, energy, money, whatever it is, for other people to be able to use their type of information. Well, it's not as optimized for you when you have all that equipment and all that stuff that you need to get to the same point, even quicker, even faster, even better. Because again, their equipment or their stuff is not as good or is not as proficient as it would be if you use your own stuff. You crafted your own way, because you're only getting a certain percentage of what they're going to allow you to use. And again, I'm not saying people are gatekeeping. Some people are. Some philosophies are. Most philosophies are. But when you get to the esoteric side of it, you realize, okay, man, they're all giving you tools to get you to that point. I'm trying to bring these tools back into the modern day. Find all these ancient pieces of wisdom that I talk about on the main channel, talk about here, Patreon, all that stuff. Bring it back to the modern day, so the modern day man who's super lost, who's super miserable because they don't have that connection to the divine. Their life is so dull because they're not connected to the divine, and give them access to go right to the source that resides within. No type of, you got to do this pilgrimage, you got to go there, you got to do this, you got to do that. All these are tools to help you get to that point. You don't even have to use any of these tools. You can find everything for yourself. But at the end of the day, you're going to look back at it, you're going to see the connecting dots. Okay, they used this and they got to the same point. They used that, they got to the same point. So might as well try that. Why not? Some people, like, you learn from other people's experiences. You learn how to pick things up together, synthesize it into your own system, and get to your own vision or your own version of success on the spiritual path. So hopefully you're picking up what I'm putting down, man. I'm not here to convert you to my religion or convert somebody to this, to that, to that. I'm just letting you know you have the access, you have the ability to access that divine knowledge, that divine wisdom already within you. That all these prophets, that all these spiritual leaders, that all these people who had these divine revelations came to and formed whole schools of thought around, you have that same ability to do that. If you, first of all, realize it, actualize it, hopefully this video did, and then actually apply it, and actually pursue it, and actually allow yourself, allow the mind, allow the body, allow that inner guide, that inner guru, the higher self, guide you along the way to get to that point. So there it is, man. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains, and I'm out of here. Peace.